I was at the start of my journey playing jazz, I remember being overwhelmed trying to play over the chords. I would always get overwhelmed over how impossible it felt to find the chord tones. And I would always feel like improvising was some kind of black magic that I would never comprehend. If you can relate to being at that point right now, when you get overwhelmed trying to play over chord changes, then I think I can help you. In order to not feel overwhelmed, you gotta reduce the amount of information that you're taking in, the amount of information that you're gonna work with. Now the thing that goes around in your head is probably like, chord changes, oh my god! It's a weird kind of two-word phrase, chord changes. I mean, what does that even mean? Of course you get overwhelmed. It's just a weird kind of statement. Chord changes is not really something that has a concrete meaning to playing jazz. So of course you get overwhelmed. You're like, okay, I have to play the chord changes, but then you're like, you don't have any more information, so your head is just spinning around and doing all sorts of things. So I'm gonna simplify it for you. When we're talking about improvising over jazz standards, which is where the chord changes term derives from, the most common thing that happens in all these jazz standards, and you've probably heard this before, is the 2-5-1 progression. So now that it's simplified, you can just feel like, okay, nice. That is what we will focus on. Nothing less, nothing more. The 2-5-1 progression. What's nice about this is it's 3 chords. You learning how to play the changes to a 2-5-1. When you've learned that, you will be able to understand the mechanics of it. And when you understand the mechanics of it, you can apply it to other chords. All of it is kind of tied together. And when you understand the most basic concept of a 2-5-1, you will be so much better off, and you will start to not feel overwhelmed anymore because it's not black magic anymore. Okay, so I'm gonna assume that you already know how to play the chords to a 2-5-1 in the key of C major. So the 2 chord is D minor 7, the 5 chord is G7, and the 1 chord is C major 7. The first thing to realize here is the 1 chord is the key of the song. That means you can play the C major scale over the whole progression. An example where I play a C major scale through the whole progression sounds like this. So as you hear, it doesn't sound bad. I really like that, and the funny thing is that most melodies of jazz standards, they are using that concept. Don't get afraid playing the key, like playing just inside melodic statements. It's nothing wrong with just playing a C major scale over a 2-5-1. But that's not gonna help us play over the changes. So the next part though, playing the changes. I am not a guy who will be like, you should play that scale, and then when the chord changes, you switch to that scale, and then you're playing the changes. In my experience, thinking about scales when just starting out will lead to your guitar just chilling in the trash can. Here are 2 licks that I want you to practice religiously in order to understand the concept of making the changes. Lick 1. Lick 2. I want you to play these licks every time you sit down with your guitar to practice. Why? You're not gonna understand the theory and why they work the first 3 to 4 times. Then comes the 7th time. Then comes the 9th time. The 12th time. After the 13th time, you will be like, hold the fuck on. The theory will click. You'll understand why they work. You will be like, okay, that's what's happening. So I'm landing on that tone, and okay, so that's the note I want to land on. And that will lead you to playing it in different keys, in different styles. You like start making up your own shit. Actually, what's gonna happen is when you listen to jazz, you will like hear similar lines, and you will be like, oh, that's like that line I learned, or oh, how did he play it? Oh, okay, I will listen to it. Oh, it's almost like that line, but not really. And then you will like start discussing with yourself, and you will like start seeing the guitar as like, oh shit, okay, that's how he did it. Oh, he landed on that note. Everything will start to make sense. You will start to like not feel as overwhelmed, and you will start to feel more interested. And when that happens, then you're gonna be unstoppable in this. So if you trust that process, it's just 2 licks. Learn them, play them every time you sit down with the guitar. Try to like play them over a backing track. Trust that process of doing that for 15 times. When you've done that, I'll promise you that you will want to up your skill from there. You will have the tools to do it by yourself then. If you'd like a one-on-one lesson, hit the link in the bio, book a lesson, and I'll help you improve your guitar skills in person. How does that sound? Alright, I'll see you later. Bye bye.